Hi, welcome to Van Life Fishing. This is a van tour number 3 of the Van Life Fishing van. It's a progress video. It's not finished. A lot of things I want to say about it before we start though, or a few things. It's different. It's not like your average van. It's designed for a specific purpose. It's designed to be my home as I fish bass tournaments year round. I'll fish in 2021 more than 20 relatively major level tournaments, probably plus a few smaller ones. So it is a little different. It's not what everyone would care for, but I think it's interesting, and I think you'll like it. As we're talking about fishing, I have to say this. In 2020, Columbia was my only sponsor, and even though I did not, because of COVID and building this and doing some other things, I did not actually fish this year. And we'll finish all this up and start with the 2021 season. And for 2021, Titan Tungsten Field Staff is so far my only sponsor, but we'll acquire more. So without further ado, let me get started on a behind the camera tour. And we're going to start right here. So we're going to start right out here with this outlet on the outside, which is there so that I can plug in my induction stove, which will sit right where my hat is, and not have the cord drape across the counter or over the sink. And it'll also be back far enough that I can close the door and not interfere with the plug. So I think that's important. Okay, real quickly before I get too much farther, there's a lot of vertical things here. You know, there's all these walls, and people say, wow, it must weigh a lot. Well, every one of these vertical walls is hollow. They're only 3/4 of an inch thick, plus any cedar that's put on the outside of them. So they're lightweight, they're hollow, yet they're structurally sound. I do have a video, a short video on vanlifefishing.com and on YouTube that explains how I built them. Okay, this group here, this column, start at the top. Coleman Mach 8 Cub, 9200 BTUs with heat strip will more than adequately cool this. The heat strip will not heat it, but it will take the chill out of it. That's all it's designed to do. Below that is deep storage on top of the convection microwave, followed coming down by 3 push to open drawers. All the drawers in here are push to open, so no handles on them. You just push on them, they pop open. And there are a total of 13 of those drawers, and I built every one of those drawers. We'll take a look at one of them when we get inside. If I were doing it again, I'm not sure I would build them. It's a lot of work. 16 pieces of wood for one drawer. Below that is 2 Ikeko Go 20 refrigerator freezers. And I will use the top one as a refrigerator, the bottom one as a freezer, and those two are on push to open drawers. Next to that is a pantry. Now the coolers, I want to say this about the coolers, all the freezers or refrigerators, whatever they are, they're all of that. They have motors in the back. They generate heat, and they need air to function properly. So if you look underneath, there's a space underneath. There's space along the sides, since I didn't put faces on them. And the air can go in the back. It's hollow. It's a chimney all the way up the back and can come right out up the top. So that as the air is heated by the units, it will rise. And the hot air rising will draw in cool, fresh air from the bottom. It's a chimney effect, and it'll just keep it right up. So they will always have a good supply of fresh, cool air, which relatively cool, to keep them efficient and not overwork them. So let's step in here real quick, take a look at this pantry. Okay, over here real quick, we got my desk, so I better put my chair back out of the way. Okay, the pantry I did not build, but I really, really like it. Okay, here it is right here. It's going to hold a lot of, it'll hold the majority of my food just in one place. Okay, quickly turn around. The counter is just a typical butcher block counter, stained black and urethane umpteen times and sanded. And a very small 9-inch sink. Now, I'd loved for this counter to have been bigger, but given everything else that I managed to get in here, I'm almost surprised I managed to get this big a one in here, because there's a lot of stuff in this little van. At any rate, if I had the extended version, if I used the extended version, this counter would have been 14 inches bigger. But I didn't use the extended version because if I decide to go boater and pull a bass boat around with me, I'm going to fish. I may only be a co-angler this year. But if and when I do start towing a boat, the extended version of the van with generator attached to the back of it would have been really, really long. Been very difficult to launch boats on some of the tight launch ramps that we have to deal with. So at any rate, here we go. Filtered water, regular water, dish soap dispenser. This can be filled from the top, so you don't have to get underneath it and mess with the bottle when you're filling it. Over here is the power tower. The light switch at the bottom is the light switch for the cabin, a dimmer, okay, and above that are some really bright little buggers that, because there's no overhead here, I was going to use those to light the countertop in the evenings, and it still will do that, but I'm going to aim them out and bounce them off of the door, and so that you can use them outside. They're so bright you can work outside with them. Next to that, I don't know if you can see it in the light here, the controller for the Max Air vent, DC outlet, AC outlet with USB charging ports. And of course I can't go any further without saying here is the Tapa, the turtle Tapa from Samoa, and that is where my late wife is from. And so we will always have the Tapa with us. Okay, heading back in the aisle. Of course, we have no flooring in this thing yet. So more doors, more cabinets, more overhead. Still have a lot of stuff that I'm working on in them. Drawers all open. This door here has in it the new circuit box, the new distribution box, because the one that I finished, and actually it doesn't look too bad on this end of it anyway, but it's 2 circuits short, so I've got to take it all apart and start it again. Okay, everybody, when I put the pictures of this up on Facebook, always says, where's the bed, where's the bed? Well, here is the bed. It wasn't in there, and let's see if I can get it to do, now that I've plugged it in, to do what it should do. This is not just my bed, this is my lounge chair, okay? This is where I will sit and watch TV that's not here yet. Okay, the TV will go here. There's another power tower there. Okay, and you can see this thing, it goes all the way up into that configuration, which sets me right up in bed. There's a variety of, you can configure it just about any way you want it. And so that's my adjustable twin XL bed. Above that, the Max Air fan. And so that's that. Whoops. All the way down, Jim. Whoop, the wrong way. That's all right. I'll get it later. Still getting used to these buttons on these things. This is what size. There we go. Back into the bathroom. Toilet's not here yet. It will be a airhead toilet. Okay. Composting toilet. Okay. We still don't have the gray tanks underneath. I have a little bit of an issue there too. Okay, this, because I set it back here where I did, I had a space over the wheel well that I could use to mount the sink and the shower. And there'll be a mirror in here too. The wood in here, of course, all the wood in here is cedar, done with tung oil. And then in here, and besides the tung oil, it was double coated with urethane. So it's pretty cotton picking waterproof. So you can see, this gives you a good idea what you're looking at from back here. at the van. So it's pretty much in. Oh, there are a couple things. One more in here. Let me turn around here. Get out. Turn around. Okay, and I don't have a shower curtain on here yet either. That is a fan for in here. Okay. And it really does the job. It not only helps the circulation, it does a good bit of helping with the odor too. So let's step outside the van, get around to the back. Is there anything in here I missed? I don't think so. Let's get around to the back. Okay, so here you can see all the mechanism for that bed. Okay, so it's right there. Under here you can see the washer dryer, and I said it's for fishing. Okay, there are rod holders back in there for a minimum of 12. You get 12 rod holders. You can put more than one rod in a holder depending on how they stack up back here. Now this area again is not finished. I will be putting 3 pullouts in this area. One for tall plastic containers and 2 for shorter, smaller plastic containers that I use a lot for fishing tackle, lures and stuff. But I will I will cover these walls with 1/4-inch paneling or possibly 5mm, but it's so that when you slide stuff in and out, it doesn't catch on these things. Okay, so that's that. And you can see the water tank back there. There's another one of those inlet, those recessed outlets right there. It'll go right here for the power for the washer dryer and for the bed. Over here is what I call a vertical garage. Okay, and it is designed to allow me to have a place to put wet rain suits. Now, I don't know how many of you fish, but where I live, but rain suits get wet. That's what they're for. And when you get back, as confined as this camper is inside, other than the bathroom, you have no place to put wet things, a wet rain suit. Fortunately, I'll have a washer dryer I can put wet clothes in, dry them. But wet rain suits you can't do that with. So they will hang back here. In fact, anything will hang. All my hoses, things of that nature, and other things. Just a little bit of storage over on the side that I will use. This is a pretty good tour of where we are. Again, you can't see it here, but this is a little bit of a look at how these walls are built. This is a 1x2 that was routed on the edge, inset, so that 5mm panel could sit flush. It's the same on the other side, except that now it's covered with plastic. So that's how all the panels in here are built. They're all hollow, lightweight, and strong. Very, very strong. Let's step back a little bit, get one more view of it. So here's the van life fishing van. My future home for several years at least to come, as I spend the entire year, every year, on the road, going from bass tournament to bass tournament, and then visiting family on the west coast and the east coast in the slack times. So there you go. Y'all have a good day. Keep cruising, keep casting. God bless.